Yes, God made us in God's image and likeness. That within itself is an incredible idea or thinking. But God did something greater than that. Yes, we are made up, man and woman, because God is both masculine and feminine, and even more than that. He's greater than those things. He's incredibly beyond anyone's imagination or understanding. God is beyond all of that. But somehow, when you think about how beautifully we are made and completely we are made, and then you think about one other thing that God did. God made us just not just above everything else that God had made, but God made us, gave us the ability to do something that even God cannot do. And you may say, what is what is what is that God cannot do? God can do anything. God can do everything. But we have the ability. God gave us the grace above grace, gave us the imagination above imaginations of any other species, the ability to think, the ability to reason, the ability to have empathy and caring, even to the point where we will risk our lives for a stranger. Now, an animal will risk their life for their children, but not for a stranger. So, what is that? What is that one element that we have that even God does not have? That one element that we have that God gave us, and that is the ability to choose. We can choose to do right, or we can choose to do wrong. God cannot choose to do wrong. God is God in his essence. Always have to do what is principle, what is divine, what is true, what is right. In the Bible, you keep hearing the word righteousness. God can't do evil. God cannot lie. God cannot take back from you what God gave you, because God's nature is in that God has created in the universe. One element of God's nature that I like to use all the time is gravity. Gravity is so incredible. You have this pen, you drop it, and gravity pulls it. The power of gravity pulls it down. Now you can have force, like my hand is having force to pick this pen up and bring it up again, but that's force. But what if my hand loses its ability to have the force? I cannot, I can, I cannot pull this pen back up again. The power of the pen is stronger than my force, because the gravity is eternal and my force is temporal. God is like that. God is like gravity. Now, you can disrespect gravity or don't believe in gravity. You can make a religion out of gravity. You can do whatever you want to do in that sense. But gravity is gravity all by itself. But it can't do anything else but do what it was created to do. Gravity. But we, the image and likeness of God, can decide to choose. We can choose. Some people say, oh, we have free will. No, you don't have free will. You have free choice. And I believe in the last weekend of the studying of the Constitution and all the great work that the founding fathers have put into this document to help America be now 250 years old and counting. One of the things that we have that the document put in there that is so valuable, and that is called freedom. Freedom to choose, freedom of speech, freedom to bear arms, freedom to go where you want to go. You have freedom to do just about anything you want if you choose to do so and stay within the law that has been created for us that everybody must obey. You think about that. This is the reason why God said to Adam and Eve, you can eat of any tree in the garden, but in the midst of the garden, there's do not eat of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, because the day that you eat of it, you will die. Now, that's not a demand. That's given you a choice to do so. I'm giving you fair warning. I want you to reach your level of divinity, but if you deviate and go this direction, you will not make it. So please choose the right path. Even Jesus says, I stand at the door and knock, and whosoever will let me in, I will come in. Even Jesus cannot come to you unless you choose that Jesus come to you. You cannot be a righteous person unless you choose to be a righteous person. You can be an evil person if you want, a very demonic person. You can be any kind of person you want. You can be a very righteous person, a holy person, a good person. But the power to choose is a powerful thing. Now, I heard something on the internet a few days ago, and I thought was very interesting. And this, I cannot remember now the person's name, but he said something very interesting. He said many people uses an excuse. They have a bad habit, and it's an addiction, smoking or drinking, or cannot do the right thing, and they say, "Oh, I'm addicted to this porn or whatever." And this man said something very interesting. He said, "No, we are using addiction as an excuse. But every time we do something out of an alignment of God's will, it's a choice. You can decide to choose. The most powerful entity that we have is the power to choose. And if you choose to allow your feelings and your hunger or desire to overtake what you have the power to choose from, then that's your choice. Then you can blame it on this or that and the other, and then you can keep doing that until you die, all of your life. But once you decide this is not for me, I'm going to choose this way. Yes, it's going to be hard. It's not going to be easy, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to put my life on it. Every morning that I get up, I have to choose to put my clothes on. I have to choose to take a shower. I have to choose to come go to work. I have to choose to do all these things. And we make many choices all day long. And you know what we call it at the end of the day? Life. Simple as that. In my closing, I really love the divine principle. And even in our songs and in our Constitution, this word divine keeps coming up. A more perfect union and these kinds of things. We are constantly trying to better ourselves. And anyone who is not trying to better themselves are just going to choose not to. Simple as that. But according to the divine principle, it's there as a guide or GPS in order for us to reach our divinity. Everyone has that ability. We have the Trinity within ourselves of our soul, our spirit, and our mind or desire. All of these things are invisible. But that's a powerful thing. We have that. God gave us that. Think about that. It's just an amazing thought that God gave us something that's more powerful than even God has. Huh. It blows my mind. God can only do good. But we can do good or bad. It's up to us. Because we have to have freedom. Because of this thing called love. The divine principle is straight. It doesn't bend or bow or change. And God gave us this love that wraps around this principle and embraces it and work it together so that it can get to its destination, but it gets there with love, with care, gentleness, and peace, and harmony, and care. That's the power of love. That's another powerful point. So love and principle has to go together. It can't just be the law because that doesn't work. But in the law, there is love. And love, and that's why I call it divine principle love. It's not just circles and arrows, brothers and sisters. It's more than that. It's a way of life. And I believe the only reason the world is not the way it should be, is because we're allowing our understanding of the principle to become a religion. And we're more into the religion and teaching and workshops and all these things and churches and all these things. And when we're missing the main point, it's designed for us to live by. Live by it. And that takes time to have. Every day have to focus on it. Is this principle, what I just said, is that principle? Is that connecting to making a higher position or helping someone? Am I trying to put them down or am I trying to lift myself up and put them down? What is that? Let's figure this thing out together. We can. This is a great moment for us in history and time. We've had all the ascended masters. We had Buddha, Muhammad. We have, all of this, the people that scientists, Einstein, and all these people who've been here trying to make a better life for us. Now we can be that. But let's take it from here. Let's move it to the next level and create a divine principle way of life culture where everybody can live in peace, love, and joy and harmony and be looking out for the best out, out of each one of us. That can happen if we just put our mind to it. Just let's not just waste around. This is Levi Doherty, and I'm grateful to be here this morning, share this with you. Thank you. God bless you. See you later.